not the same person that I was 3 years ago, and I'm so grateful for that.
It's now been 4 years since social media influencer Brittany Dawn Davis apologized for not delivering fitness and nutrition plans to customers.
I jumped into an industry that had no instruction manual. I'm basically going through uncharted territory.
I'm sorry for anyone that feels hurt or scammed.
Hi everyone and welcome back. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Today we're going to be discussing Brittany Dawn's lawsuit settlement that the state of Texas had against her. There are a numerous amount of creators on here, both on YouTube and on TikTok, that have been discussing the entire lawsuit. Mims, Isabella Lanter, and B. Haney are some of the few that I've enjoyed watching their content. So if you want a full scope of what she has done and what the lawsuit entails, then definitely go watch that. But this video in specifically, we are going to be talking about the stipulations that Brittany has to follow in order to be in compliance with the settlement. Brittany Dawn started off as a fitness influencer, and then she moved on to selling individualized and personalized, and I use those words very loosely, fitness and nutrition plans. That's how she got into this huge mess with the state of Texas. Thousands of people purchased her fitness plans, and they paid anywhere from $92 to $300. And so the state of Texas sued her because of deceptive practices and negatively impacting her clients, some of which, trigger warning, suffering from eating disorders or had suffered in the past from an eating disorder. Because Brittany spoke so much about her own eating disorder struggles, people assumed that she had the proper professional background, the education, or even training to help them in their own eating disorder struggles. And that's not the case. She had no formal training whatsoever. But as I said, because she spoke about it so often, people thought that she was the right person to go to for the guidance that they were searching for. The lawsuit in itself was just state of Texas saying, hey, you failed to provide these individualized, personalized plans that you said that you were going to do, and the one-on-one coaching. In the lawsuit, one of Brittany Dawn's clients mentioned, I truly need guidance, help, the right information, and support right now. Currently have an eating disorder, horrible body image views, am underweight for my height. The lawsuit also mentions that a bunch of these clients would email Brittany and they would get some generic answer back, like, you're killing it, you're doing great, I believe in you. Like, what is so personalized about that? It's very basic, it's generic. When these clients attempted to get a refund, that was not happening for a bunch of them. Some of them were forced to sign an NDA, and I say forced because they did not sign that NDA, they were not going to get a refund back. Lo and behold, even when they did sign that NDA, they didn't get a refund. Some got a partial refund, which is stupid. Some of them were just ghosted. And in true Brittany Dawn fashion, she ended up making this video called Calling the Hate, which is now deleted on YouTube. But as I always say, the internet is forever. So once it's out there in the interwebs, it will be there forever, even when you delete it. I will say she gave a half-assed apology video. There's nothing much more I can say about that. It's right on par, in my opinion, with the Laura Lee apology video. And because of this scandal, she ended up pivoting, or grifting, I should say, to becoming a Christian influencer. And so now anytime people make a video discussing how problematic she is, the lawsuit in general, or the things that she says and does, it's demons coming after her. Now it's you being held accountable and people calling you out for doing questionable things, Brittany. According to news outlets and articles, the settlement was done back in April 25th, but none of the documents were made public until, I believe, June 2nd. I am going to read a few key pieces from the settlement. It's about 17 pages long. I will try to see if I can put it up on my Google Drive so that you guys can easily find it and read it for yourself if you choose to do so. I want to read this part particularly because a lot of people say, oh, she settled, she didn't do anything wrong. No, her settlement says otherwise. Defendant Brittany Dawn Davis admits wrongdoing, but was overwhelmed by the unexpected number of customers who purchased the program from her website. Defendant claims their failure to provide all services were ordered was due to the volume of customers. While defendant admits wrongdoing, they maintain that at no time did the defendant fail to provide purchase services due to malicious intent. I'm happy that that part in particular is in her settlement because a lot of people did feel, because she had settled, that she was in a way gonna be scot-free and didn't have to admit to any wrongdoing, when in fact she did do a lot of wrong to a lot of people. Now on to the findings, what she has to follow, what are some of the requirements in order for her to basically be in compliance with her settlement. Offering or selling any nutrition or fitness plan that includes personalized nutrition assessments as part of the plan unless defendant will be providing personalized nutrition assessment based on the information provided by the individual. Brittany Dawn cannot sell any individualized or personalized nutrition fitness plan unless she actually makes them individualized or personalized personalized. Number 2, Brittany Dawn cannot provide any type of reassessment or modification to these plans unless she's actually doing the reassessments and modifications based on the individual, the client, the consumer. Offering or selling any nutrition or fitness plans that includes individual one-on-one coaching of any frequency, whether that be daily, weekly, monthly coaching sessions as part of the plan, unless defendant will be providing individual one-on-one coaching on the promised frequency to support a customer in achieving any specific nutrition or fitness plan. Meaning, if she says that I'm going to be following up with you in like a month or weekly or whatever in her individualized plan, she cannot do that unless she's actually following up with them every month, weekly, daily, whatever the frequency is. 2 key points that I want to highlight, because I feel like they're very critical. She cannot represent herself as having any special knowledge or training to address eating disorder when she does not, and she cannot charge a shipping fee for goods or services exclusively delivered by email. I'm gonna give my 2 cents on that. I thought that was freaking ridiculous. You're charging a service fee for a product that's digitally delivered, not a physical product, which I would understand. You have to ship that out, so hence the shipping fee. But something digital? Girl, if you're strapped for cash, just say that. Now on to the monetary judgment, which I think honestly this is what's killing her the most. If you scroll onto page 6, section 5, that is where you're going to find the monetary judgment, and that is where it just breaks down how much she owes to the state of Texas, attorney fees, and most importantly to her clients who, in my opinion, she scammed money out of. In totality, she owes about $531,320. That's an exorbitant amount. Like, I cannot fathom that kind of money. But if you keep reading, it breaks it down into what she owes to whom specifically. So $300,000 are owed in civil penalties, $100,000 are due in restitution, and $131,320 are due in attorney fees. But we're gonna put an asterisk on that because that has a particular stipulant. Is that the right word I'm looking for? But it basically has like a special requirement of how she's going to pay that, or if she's going to pay that. So the $300,000 she has to pay within 36 months, which is just 3 years. So for the next 3 years, she's got to be giving them payments. Rent is due, mama. In the first year, defendant shall make 12 monthly payments of no less than $1,000 each. In the second year, the defendant shall make 12 monthly payments of no less than $2,000 each. And in the third year, the defendant shall make 11 monthly payments of no less than $3,000. In the final 36 months of the following effective date, defendant shall make a payment of the remaining balance of the civil penalties. Now, I did say earlier that the attorney fees are kind of special in the way that she may or may not have to pay them at all, and that is because it is further ordered that the plaintiff shall have a judgment against and recover attorney fees of $131,320 from defendants, which the plaintiff agrees shall be abated for 36 months beginning from the effective date of this judgment, and will not become due and payable unless defendants fail to comply with the permanent injunction provision in section 4, the provisions of paragraphs 5.2, or a court finds that the defendant failed to comply with this judgment. So if she doesn't make any payments, if she gives out plans that aren't individualized or personalized, she does the one-on-one coaching and fails to provide that frequency that she stated in her email that she was going to give to that client, she has to pay those $131,000. If she is complying with that, she doesn't have to. So technically, she has to pay, as of now, only $400,000. Something that I didn't think of, but I'm glad that the prosecution did, was in regards to bankruptcy. Meaning, she cannot file for bankruptcy in order to get away from making her payments. There are other 3 things here that I'm just like, bless the person who thought of it. Notice of entity name change. Defendant shall provide a written notice if Brittany Dawn Fitness LLC changes its name and or assumes a different business name. The notice should be provided within 15 days of the filing of the document with the state of Texas and the Secretary of State. Notice of entity dissolvement. Defendant shall provide written notice if Brittany Dawn Fitness LLC is dissolved. Notice should be provided within 15 days. Copy to employees. Defendants shall provide a copy of this judgment to all current and future employees and independent contractors who work at or for the benefit of the defendant. Meaning, she has to provide a copy of this settlement to every single employee that she has currently, any future employees, and any independent contractor that she hires to help her. I love this for her. Further down, you're going to find the section that says no circumvention. Defendants shall not participate directly or indirectly in any activity or form a separate entity or corporation for the purpose of engaging in acts or practices in whole or in part that prohibit in this judgment, or for any other purpose that would otherwise circumvent any part of this judgment or the spirit or purposes of this judgment. What I understood from that was that she cannot go and create, let's say, Dawn Fitness or Nelson Fitness LLC in order to not be under the requirements of this settlement. Like, she cannot go and create a separate entity to just do what she was doing beforehand without having to fulfill any of the requirements. She cannot go and create a whole other entity so that she doesn't have to follow what's in her settlement and just keep creating individualized plans when they really are just cookie cutter. If you look into where it says additional provisions, section 9, defendants shall not make any change in their form of doing business or organizational identity for the purpose of avoiding the terms and conditions set forth in this judgment. Whoever wrote this was making sure that they were covering all of their bases and making sure that she was not going to find some way or shape or form, like a loophole, in order to not be within compliance of the settlement. You're probably wondering how the state is going to be making these payments and how can people who purchase these plans go about making a claim. Well, if you look in section 5.5 of the settlement, it will tell you how this is going to go down. It states, the state will send a claim form to eligible consumers. Distribution of restitution will be limited to eligible consumers who return the claim before the deadline. The state will determine if the claim form has been properly completed and timely submitted and determine the specific amount of refund for each eligible consumer. Consumers may receive a pro rata refund amount if claim amounts exceed the restitution payment. If the total claimed amount by all eligible consumers is less than the restitution award, any residual amount for such unallocated eligible consumers will be allocated to the Supreme Court Judicial Fund as a civil penalty in the accordance with Texas Government Code. Checks returned to the state shall be treated in accordance with the state of Texas unclaimed property laws. I know I've been sprinkling my thoughts and opinions here and there throughout the entire video, but here I'm going to kind of like summarize my final thoughts on this entire thing. I am glad that she is being held accountable for scamming people out of their money. I am happy that they put in there that she can't say, oh, I didn't do anything wrong, when in fact she did do a lot of wrong things. She presented herself as being knowledgeable in treating eating disorders and getting people who have this to be fit. She didn't provide the services that she said she was going to. And then she made a video, like I said earlier in the video, talking about, oh, calling out the haters. But it's not haters. People aren't hating you just to hate you. She's actively doing things that are wrong and harming people and expects them to be okay with it and not be held accountable for it. I also don't buy that she was so overwhelmed by the sheer volumes of people that were buying her products, because if that was the case, she could have put a cap. She could have shut down her website, but she didn't. She was greedy. I do believe that she took the settlement because at the end of the day, it was going to benefit her. In discovery, they ended up finding out the prosecution ended up running the numbers and said, the math ain't mathing here. Like, you're saying this is the amount that you supposedly paid out or somewhat, but we're having this. So
Davis's defense teams turned over more than 50,000 pages of documents, but last week the state argued they left off thousands of customers. They also only shared receipts for $170,000 of the $1.5 million she took in. Her defense argued a web hosting company deleted the record.
And it irks me to my core that she will use Christianity as a shield for any of the wrongdoings that she has done in her life. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's in the past, she has learned from it. Has she though? Has she really learned from her mistake? I don't think so. She made a lot of people sign an NDA so that they wouldn't talk about what she was doing to other people. That to me is sketchy and suspicious. I do believe, in my opinion, she was doing that so that one, her reputation would not be damaged, and two, so that she could potentially still sell these individualized and personalized fitness plans and still make money off of it. And coincidentally, in the last 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, she has been off social media. She even posted a video saying that I'm gonna be deleting my social medias, I'm gonna do a social media cleanse. As B. Haney said, I find that suspicious. I find that really, the timeline is very much interesting. disgusting, because during that time that she was going on this social media cleanse is when all of this from her settlement was happening. She wanted to continue to make easy money. Do I think she's going to attempt a comeback within the fitness world? I highly doubt it. She has all of these things that she has to comply with, so it's not gonna be very easy for her to make money off of it, especially when the fitness world is also just, I don't think that they're going to allow somebody with that kind of a reputation to come in and do what she was doing beforehand. It's just not gonna happen. In a nutshell, it would be completely and utterly difficult for her to make money if she even just wants to go back into the fitness world. She is, however, making easy money with this whole Christian influencer thing. She has this, what is it, the She Lives Free mentorship program, hoopla, I don't know what it is. Since this scandal broke out of her scamming people out of money, she really grifted into the whole Christian influencer world and really has made her entire social media platform be about that. Like, that is her entire identity. She has nothing else to offer. In my opinion, she's all about herself and what can benefit her, and me. Very American individualistic mentality. Had the state of Texas not sued her, I don't think she would have paid any of her former clients any sort of money. The only reason why her ex-clients are going to be receiving money is because she is legally bound to do so. Otherwise, she could literally give two fucks. That is it for today's video. I hope that you did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the entire Brittany Dawn lawsuit, her settlement, all of that jazz. I'm pretty sure one of her stands is gonna come up into the comment section, and that is always fun. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!